is chasing him. We act differently when we know we're being watched, when we know we're being recorded.
She'll install cameras.
That's why we put cameras over, exactly. So says the gemorah. We're on the bottom line of Hey Amud Aleph, Kiner. Sorry. Tani Tamakamei Reb Chaim. Someone said in front of Reb Chaim, Kolaisik B'Torah, anyone who studies the Bible, Beglunas Chasodim, and he does Chesed, and he buries his children, all his affairs, whatever he's ever done wrong, he's forgiven. It's a machlekes if it's all three or each one individually. All three of them. So most say it means even someone who learns Torah by itself. Someone does chesed, Yochanan said, it's Pasha. It says chesed ve'emes yichuparavin. Someone that does chesed, someone that does emes, that's mechaper. The gemorah explains chesed is gemorah's chasodim. This is a fella. I don't want to explain this to me. Chesed is gemorah's chasodim. Shneimar roidev stuck of a chesed is a Chaim, stuck of a kavod. What do you mean? Of course chesed is chesed. You bringing me a pasuk that chesed means chesed? It says chesed ve'emes yichuparavin. What's chesed? Gemorah's chasodim. Of course. It's the same letters. Chesed. It's chesed. It's the same gematria. Chesed is chesed. What do you bring me a pasuk? Chesed. It's staka. Yim tzachayim stuck of a kavod. It's a pella, no? What does this mean? It's like Sisrei Torah over here. You bring me a pasuk that chesed means chesed? What did the second pasuk claim on the first pasuk? So what some want to say is, take it or leave it, is that you might think chesed here means staka. That's why it says, we don't know what chesed is. The Gemara is explaining, no, there's chesed and staka. Staka is you give money. Chesed is with your guf. You're being kind to someone. You're helping give them a shirim.
You need help?
Emes zu Torah. Emes zu Torah. Emes is Torah. The truth is Torah. Shenemar emes knei val timkar. How does that prove that emes is Torah? Buy it. Emes, buy the truth, don't sell it. How does that prove that emes is Torah? So someone will say, because what do you mean, buy the emes? What emes are you buying? You got to buy something, which emes you have to pay for, and then not sell it. Don't get rid of it. Buy it, don't sell it. If you buy truth, why can't you sell it? Elama means that you should pay to learn Torah. You shouldn't pay to teach Torah. You should teach Torah for free.
You shouldn't charge.
But if they charge you, you should come. So, it's a big chiddush. Even if a guy charges you, should go and pay. You should pay to learn Torah. What do you mean? What type of guy charges to teach Torah? You should teach it for free, right? Maybe you didn't learn this. The big machlekes, the Rambam and the Ashkenazim, whether you can charge to sit in Kaila and learn. Teach Torah. The Rambam was very machmeh. He says, Chil Hashem, you're not allowed to take money to learn Torah. And that's why they say that there's many, many more Ashkenazi Rishonim and Paiskim than there was Sfadim, because they were able to sit in Kaila and learn. Sfadim they were not allowed to, by the Rambam's edict. Yeah. Yeah. Nowadays, of course, Sfadim have more yeshivs and Kailim, they have more Kailim than Ashkenazim, but they stopped following the Rambam when it came to this. They were makeup. According to the Chazon Ish, there's no bigger lechatchila than sitting in Kailim and taking a paycheck from someone. Not just his lechatchila, it's the biggest of all the lechatchilas. So there's a big machlekes. According to the Rambam, no. But yeah, it's Chil Hashem, take money to learn Torah. How do you know this Kev is born of business? It says, As your oven. There's a great shava, oven to oven. Ksiv chesed emes, yichupor oven. Ksiv haf fasam, it says, Mishalem, oven is achek b'neihem. So you have a hekesh oven, gzer shava, oven, is a kapara. Amr Yochanan. Amr Yochanan. The Goyim ubanim men Yisur Shalava. Guess what? These are not Yisur Shalava. These are Yisurim that come to be mechaper. It's not Yisur Shalava. And Goyim. You know, a guy has blemishes on his skin. Ubanim. Any suffering from children, l'chayra, that's what it means, isn't called Yisur Shalava. The Goyim lie. Really, the Goyim's not Yisur Shalava. If a guy has blemishes, a guy has that type of thing. But Tanya, it says anyone who has one of these for the goyim, einan ela mizbeach kapara. He's like a mizbeach of kapara. So you see, it's a kapara. The Gemara says mizbeach kapara, but you're right, it's a kapara. Yisurin Shalava is not kapara. Yisurin Shalava lo yavu. It's a kapara. It's not Yisurin Shalava. Yisurin Shalava is not a kapara. Yisurin Shalava gives you schar. You don't have an avera. So the Achronim will ask, what was the gemorah's havamina? The gemorah knows what Yisurin Shalava is. What was the havamina? Mizbeach kapara is a Yisurin Shalava. Makes no sense. The gemorah said yet before Yisurin Shalava is just to give a guy schar. And he said, the gemorah says it's mizbeach kapara. Yisurin Shalava. What do you mean? We know that Yisurin Shalava is no kapara. What's that gemorah's havamina or Rabbi side? The gemorah says no, it's a kapara, but it's not Yisurin Shalava. Obvious, no? Everyone should have had that teretz. What's the gemorah's kasha, B'chal? It's big kasha.
Previous Gilgal.
Previous Gilgal. What if you don't hold the Gilgulim? What's pshat? Or the previous Gilgal you didn't have it was chayta. So what they say is like this. This is what I was going to say to you before. How does Yisurin Shalava mechaper? Why is it mechaper? Sorry, why is Yisurin Shalava a schus? What's the schus of Yisurin Shalava? The guy suffers, it's a tremendous schus now? No, because he's mechaper for other people's chatayim. That's what some people want to say. When he gets Yisurin, it's mechaper for the whole generation. And for that he gets schar. He saved the generation. For that he gets schar. You want to give me that soda? It looks like it needs to be drunk. The question is why did it say mizbeach kapara? Just say it's a kapara. What do you mean mizbeach kapara? It's a strange lashon. Why is it mizbeach kapara? The mashmai says just like the mizbeach doesn't need the kapara, it's for someone else. Also, this guy doesn't need the kapara. It's just somebody else.
All right.
Someone at Taina, why does it say mizbeach? Because just like a mizbeach is only mechaper for shkaga. Also, this is only mechaper for shkaga. If someone does something unintentionally, mizbeach. Korbanos will not for people who did intentional sinning. You do intentional sin, there's only one way out of it. Tshuva. That's the only way out. Okay. Says the Gemara. V'bay Sema. V'bay Sema. So we got this kasha, right? Isn't the guy Yisurin Shalava or not? V'bay Sema. Halan v'haluhu. This is for us, this is for them. So what does it mean, halan v'haluhu? Normally it means, this is for Bnei Bavel. This is Talmud Bavli. Lan v'haluhu. Eretz Yisrael. Bnei Eretz Yisrael. So there's a difference if you live in Eretz Yisrael or Bavel. What's the difference? If Eretz Yisrael or Bavel? So take a look in Rashi. Last white line in Rashi. Halon halahu. Be'eretz Yisrael, she'ari chayim mekudasha is ba u'mitzayra ton shiluach. Right in Eretz Yisrael, where they're holy, and a mitzayra has to be kicked out. Ton shiluach chutza lahen einan Yisurin Shalava. That's not called Yisurin Shalava. If you're kicked out of town because you're negayim, that's not called Yisurin Shalava. Take a look in Taisus. Taisus doesn't like it. What does I say? Obviously, v'teima. Second line in the top Taisus. V'teima. The shiluach mimachmachana is lehav noyeg ala bizman shayevel noyeg. Bizman beis hamikdash. And in the time of Reb Chaim, this is hundreds of years later. They weren't kicking people out of Eretz Yisrael because of the negayim. So what do you mean halan halahu? So Taisus says it means in Eretz Yisrael there was still noyeg but tum and tyra, even though they didn't kick a person out, right? But they still would like to move a tyra. Others don't like the whole pshat. Eretz Yisrael, not Eretz Yisrael. Well, some say, you know what the difference between Bavel and Eretz Yisrael? Eretz Yisrael is much hotter than Bavel. So if a person had Negayim, it bothered him much more. So that's not called Yisurin Shalava. In Bavel, it didn't bother him so much. So it's Yisurin Shalava. In Eretz Yisrael, it's not. Others say, the difference is that the Gemara says in Ksuvas, you'll all like this one. The Gemara says in Ksuvas, Daf Kuf Yod Aleph, Amud Beis. Kol Shari B'Eretz Yisrael, you live in Eretz Yisrael, Shari B'Loi Chet, you live without any Chet, there's no sin. So in Eretz Yisrael, you have Yisurin, Yisurin Shalava, Hashem loves you. In Bavel, first as Yisurin, is to take care of his affairs. But in Eretz Yisrael, you live in Eretz Yisrael, no Averis. Kol Shari B'Eretz Yisrael, ain't Averis. Others say, Halein Lehu, Amech Kulam Tzadikim, for Tzadikim, they don't need Kapara, Halahu, it's for the Rishonim, they need Yisur to be mechaper on their averis. But Etzal, but Amech Kolan Tzadikim, they don't need Yisur to be mechaper. Says gemorah v'ibay say mahobet sin haba v'hasi. You know what the difference is between this type of negoim and that type of negoim? If it's a bit sin under your clothes, Rashi says a person has warts and blisters and stuff under his clothes, that's Yisur Shalava. No one knows about it. But if it's mefahesia, if it's in places where people see, that is already Yisurin to be mechaper. Says gemorah. If it's talking about the bottom is not going to be a kapara, what are you talking about? If he had, then he lost them. Rabbi Yochanan used to walk around saying, "Dein gama the sirai beer." This is the bone of my 10th son, of his 10th child that he lost, right? His 10th son. And people want to know how can he walk around with a bone? All right, it's also it's matame, right? It's chiv kfura. Rashi says it was less than a sa'ira. It was a tiny little thing, so it wasn't matame. Less than a shit is matame. They asked, but still, you got to be. He's chiv kfura. So some Rishonim want to say the Orch and the Ben Chananel wasn't a bone; it was a tooth. He had like a tooth. Others say it means that they made a sudan. They used to make a sudan savra, and they served flesh, and it was a bone from the meal. It wasn't a bone from. It was chayv kfura. Anyway, okay. So says the Gemara. So what's he proving from here? The Rabbi Yochanan, Rashi explains, what are you proving from Rabbi Yochanan? He lost 10 children. The proof is that even this great tzaddik, Rabbi Yochanan, the Heilig Rabbi Yochanan, he lost kids. It had to be Yisur and Shal Ava. That's what Gemara is proving for Rabbi Yochanan. Reb Chaim Ba'aba, crazy story now. Reb Chaim Ba'aba, a bit lighter now. Reb Chaim Ba'aba, cholosh, he became sick. He was weak. Al Gabi Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan walked in. He said to him, he said, you like the Yisur and you're having a good time? You want it or you don't want it? Well, imagine you go to the doctor now, he said, doctor, it hurts me. He says, you want it or you don't want it? Rebecca came in. So you want to be sick or you don't want to be sick? What did he say? Famous line, everyone knows this. Lo yein v'lo yischar. Keep me away from it. I don't want this, not the Yisur, not the schar. So some Achronim explain, what's this double lashon? Lo yein v'lo yischar. It means lo yein if it's Yisurin to take care of a virus, right? To be mechaper lo yein, I don't want it. V'lo yischar. If it's to give me schar, Yisur shalava, don't give me schar either. Keep me away from the whole thing. Lo yein v'lo yischar. Yisur shalava, Yisur shal whatever. Okay. Amalei havli yadach said, give me a hand. Reb Chaim said, Reb Chaim, give me a hand. He gave him his hand. Yavle yad. They gave him his hand. He said, arise, my child. And he stood. He was healthy. Alamakom. He performed a miracle on him.
Chutzpah.
Huh?
Chutzpah.
Why? Rabbi Yochanan chalash. Now Rabbi Yochanan himself was sick. So what happened? Alagabi Reb Chanina. Reb Chanina came to visit him. He said, you happy with the Yisur and you like it? You having a good time? He said, I don't want it, not them, not the schar. He said, give me your hand. Yavle gave him his hand. He stood up. So Reb Chanina made Rabbi Yochanan healthy. So now the obvious question is, am I liking Rabbi Yochanan and Nafshe? We just saw Rabbi Yochanan was able to do hocus pocus to save his friend Reb Chaim Ba'aba. So why didn't he do it to himself? Make himself get up. What's going on over here? So the Gemara says, "Ein chovish mate asim beis asurim." Someone who's locked up in prison can't release himself. You can't free yourself from prison. The shayla b'chalekas chodim. Why? Why can't you free yourself in prison? Is it because? Huh?
Well, Rabbi Yochanan clearly took the Yisur from him. That's why he got sick.
Maybe.
He made it eloquent.
So listen to this. Why can't a chovish be matas re'esom? Why can't someone who's in prison release himself? So the pashtus is because he's sick. Some Rishonim say he's so weak he can't daven. You got to be able to daven with all your kayach to daven takadosh baruch Hu. He's too weak. He can't daven. So someone else has to daven. Others say, I think it's Sfasemis, if I remember correctly, he says that someone who's sick, his Isra Mazle, his muzzle, his neshama is in a bad place. So he doesn't have the kayach to tuayf and shemayim. Because he's sick, you need someone else to daven for him. Okay. not so much, but the question is the Mefurish Chazal. Chazal says about Yishmael, the son of Avram Avinu. That what happened? V'yishna l'kol hana shehu shom. And Chazal says, Yofa tefillah shall chayla from anyone else. The chayla's tefillah is much more than anybody else. So why here? Can't he daven? Why does he need someone else to daven for him? Right? That's the kasha. What's the difference? Here we said ein chavish matir, and there it says by Yishmael that it's better that tefillah is the chayla than anyone else. How do you understand this? Steer in the gemorah, no? What do you say, Rabbi Say? It's a good kasha, no? The gemorah there says before, the chayla is better than anybody else. Here, you use chayla, you break and has to save him because ein chavish matir basis to him. What's the difference?
There's a special thing with chaylim that tzaddik can heal a chayla. What's
Surah Mahava. It's different to Surah Mahava.
That's why he said lahim v'yischarm. We don't know.
A chayla is the best to daven for himself. Here, he says, no, you can't redeem it. So there's a few ways to understand that. Chaim say, one option is that he could daven. If a chayla can daven, the chayla is best. But here, if he's cholish, he couldn't stand up, he couldn't move, he couldn't daven, so that you need someone else to daven. Others want to say, nah. You know what the difference is? That's kind of Matan Torah, right? Once is Matan Torah, Kol Yisrael Arevim Zelazeh, and when your friends are chayla, you're also chayla. So the chayla is davening. You are davening for you. The chayla is davening. And you don't have the problem of vein chavish matatzmai. Someone else is being. So you don't have the problem of the chayla himself is better because everyone's kol yishal arev zelazeh. We're all responsible for one another. We're connected at the hip. We're all one.
Why do you need someone else to do that? It's very nice that it works. So what?
So you cracking on to the next Nakuda. Others, I think this is what maybe you Ramas do. The Gemara doesn't say here that Reb Chaim davened for him. What does it say? He gave him his hand, he said, arise. This wasn't a tefillah. You're right, tefillah better for the chayil to daven for himself. But here, this is working with some type of, hocus pocus, magic, siyata d'shmaya, nevuah, I don't know what you call it. He's coming with some type of spiritual kayak and saying, arise. This wasn't a tefillah. Who said he's davening here? There's no tefillah. He didn't say he started davening for him. He said, he gave him his hand. He said, get up, you're healed. He was geyser on him, he's healed. I think they say a story about the Gra. In fact, I know they say a story about the Gra. The story about the Gra goes like this, that he went to Chasna of the Talmud of Israel, who was blind, right? And just under the chuppah, he said to him, Osel HaKadosh Isha Ad Shirena, he could see. He healed him ala makom. That's the story with the Gra, that he was geyser, tzaddik geyser of Hashem Chaim. You know the story of the Chavetz Chaim? The famous story of the Chavetz. You know the story of the Chavetz. You must know the story of the Chavetz Chaim. There's a bunch of Talmidim of the Chavetz Chaim and the Rebbes. They were sitting on a tish and they're arguing whose Rebbe is greater, right? So the Hasidim said, well, our Rebbe is greater. The Rebbe says this. Hashem does this meifus. This Rebbe says you should be rich. And all of a sudden you have $1 million. This Rebbe says you should find the shidduch. The next day find the shidduch. Tzaddik goyz Hashem Mekayim. So the Talmud of the Chavetz Chaim said, our Rebbe is much greater. HaKadosh Baruch Hu goyz and the Chavetz Chaim is Mekayim. Okay, we'll wrap up with that. Have a wonderful day.